It's such a stupid shoe. Hey everyone, it's a Skateboard Dad, and today we're talking about the best skate shoes of all time. And there are a few that are still sold today, so stick around and maybe you'll get a shoe suggestion of what skate shoe to buy next. And if you're new to my channel, thank you so much for watching this video, and make sure to subscribe. We're gonna do a tier list of the best skate shoes of all time, and some of these are still around, so I don't know where to start. I guess we'll just start with the Nike SB Stefan Janoski. So I've had like probably 6 or 7 pairs of this shoe. I've had the originals, like I had the originals as soon as they came out. I think it was like 2009 or so. And then I had like the 3 colorways that followed that original release. Then I got the remastered release, first mid release, remastered slip-on. I'm actually wearing the remastered slip-on right now. These are like my garage slippers. So the Stefan Janoski, like if you look on this list, there are like some legendary shoes and then there's some not so legendary shoes. The Stefan Janoski, I think, can be paired with these because one of its like cultural significance, its selling power, like how many sales it got for Nike SB, and then also its looks and its performance. I hate to start it off like this, but the Stefan Janoski is S tier for sure. Like this shoe isn't really in style right now, like with a lot of like trendier skateboarders. Everyone on Nike SB that I know besides Leticia Buffoni is really just rocking Dunks or Blazers. Like 5 years ago, it was all Janoskis. I can't believe I put this on here. This is a meme for sure, but whatever, I made the list. Okay, so the DC Court Graffik. So this shoe is absolutely legendary. My friend had a pair of these. A bunch of my friends had these in middle school when they came out. They had the original DC Courts, which was the smaller DC logo, and then this monstrosity came out. Oh gosh. I can't really make this a meme list. I just put it on here because it really had like significance in the culture. Oh my goodness. The DC Court Graffik, that's D tier for sure. All those shell toe kind of that exact silhouette shoes were pretty bad back then. DC Court Graffik, baby. Now we have the Jeremy Ray version 4. So Jeremy Ray, legendary skateboarder, water tower gap, all that. This was my first legitimate skate shoe. My parents, they took me to like Payless when I was a kid, and there was NSS, which I think stood for nice skate shoes. And so I got a pair of NSS and they were just not cool and they fell apart. Right when the internet was a thing. And I found a shop that had these, that had the Jeremy Ray V4s. So this shoe, if I just take off my nostalgia glasses for a sec, I skated in these and tore through the toe box so quickly. The leather was really poor quality, but they look so good. Maybe they don't look good, maybe they look terrible, but I like them. I'm gonna have to put the Jeremy Ray V4s in the B tier. Adio was not that cool of a company. I think some snowboard or ski company owned Adio. They had like the corporate stigma around them, kind of deservedly. B tier, baby. We're gonna save the Nike SB Dunk, come on. Can't give it away right now. Ooh, the Eric Koston one. So this shoe, cultural significance, way up there. Some came with the air bubble, some came without the air bubble. This is Eric Koston's first pro model shoe, I'm pretty sure. It was for sure the first on S. For sure S tier. Oh man, if I'm gonna stay impartial here, this is probably gonna upset some people, but I feel like the Koston one is after the Janoski. Janoski over the Koston one. It's a tight race, but for sure that the Janoski, I think, just because it crossed into mainstream culture way more than the Koston one did. Let me know in the comments below if you disagree with that one, but I know that's kind of a hot take, but I think that's true. I got the Adio Kenny Anderson. Adio, not the coolest company. For some reason, I thought it was really cool growing up because Bam Margera, Tony Hawk, Brian Sumner. I'm gonna put the Kenny Anderson B tier right above the Jeremy Ray. Just even though I think the shoe is cooler, a lot of people really cared for the Kenny Anderson more, and Kenny Anderson probably had a little bit more significance in the skate culture back then. Ooh, the Nike SB Blazer. So this shoe, it's one of the best shoes ever. Performs really well. I don't wear them to skate just because I don't care for high tops and how they perform for me. I guess this is a Blazer mid. They only make the Blazer mids or lows. Mason Silva better get a colorway here pretty soon because he was SOTY last year and he wore nothing but blazers. Oh my gosh, I can't believe Blazer SB is S tier, right below the Koston one. Then we got the Ronnie Creagers, legendary skateboarder. This shoe is very hard to come by now. It's super rare because I think that's because they skated so well. So, and Ronnie Creager wasn't like the star of the team like Eric Koston was back on the day on S. When people had a pair of Ronnie Creagers, they skated them. But with Kostons, they could kind of be like, okay, Koston's like the Michael Jordan of skateboarding right now, so I'm going to save these. They'll probably be worth something. At least they'll be worth something to me in the future. This shoe, though, skated really well. I'm going to do B tier right below the Kenny Andersons, just to make some people on Instagram mad. The Osiris D3s, so these were an awful shoe, but they're on this list just because of their like significance. Someone could say that this is a vert shoe. I'm gonna put this in the C tier. No real explanation. It just can't be down here in the D tier with the Court Graffik. All right, now the S Accel. This shoe is very widely loved, especially this colorway, the Scuba Steve VX colorway. I really wanted a pair of these when I was a kid. I knew someone who had this exact same colorway, and I was so jealous. His name was Griffin. So Griffin, if you're out there and you still have these, hit me up. S Accel, so this has like not just a cult following, it has like a huge mainstream skateboard following, and it's really made its comeback with the S Accel OG, and they've done a bunch of different iterations of it. Like I think they have like a strap version, the plus, and then they have like the kind of slimmed down version. They had a square one, which was S's take at like the vulcanized version of the shoe. But this is like the classic. This is not an S tier shoe. This is actually a B tier shoe. That's gonna upset some people too. Like S has the biggest fanboys in the world, and I generally like S. It's kind of plain. It performed well, but there's really nothing that special about it. So now we're moving on to the Koston K3. If you're a sneakerhead or if you know anything about Jordans, then you probably recognize that this shoe looks exactly like the skate version of a Jordan 12. Eric Koston was always a big sneakerhead, and when he made the move to Nike, he did this like little interview thing where he talked about how when he was riding for S or when he rode for Lakai, he was like a closet Nike collector and Jordan collector. So in this Koston 3, he wanted to pay homage to Jordan. That's why this shoe kind of has a cult following, I think. This is C tier, right above the Osiris. Let's spice this up a little bit. The Nike SB Dunk. So the Dunk is probably the shoe that I know sadly the most about. I used to collect these like crazy. Like I was the little kid that like waited outside the skate shop back in the day, like camp chair, waiting for the release of super colorful shoes that I already have like 30 pairs of, and spent way too much money, sold them all in college. Wish I hung on to them because so many of them are worth so much money. But the Nike SB Dunks, they're a great shoe. I've done a couple videos on like skating and Nike SB Dunks and my opinions on them. They skate really well, they perform really well. This is an A tier shoe. I'm gonna put the Nike SB Dunk in the A tier. There's so many cool colorways, a lot of like cool historical significance, not only in skateboarding but in hip hop and then just in fashion in general. I don't partake in the whole dunk thing anymore. It was fun for me back in the day, for sure. It fits into this list not only because it performs really well, but then also because it has a lot of like just skate culture significance. Now we've got the Mikey Taylor. So this is a DC shoe. This shoe is pretty good. It is like a Janoski type. I think it performed as well as the Janoski, but didn't look as good. So I'm gonna put this one in the C tier, right below the Koston K3. But it's a good shoe. It's super plain, but it was a really great selling shoe. It really crossed over into mainstream culture as well. Now, moving on to the Chima Ferguson Pro 2 shoe. So this shoe is one of my favorite Vans shoes, and I wish that I could skate it, but there's just something that doesn't work out with the midsole and my foot. Super bummer because it's crazy durable with the whole Duracap construction thing, and then it's got this raised like toe bumper on the midsole in the front, that extra foxing tape that really just makes it super durable. It looks super simple, super clean, a lot of good and decent colorways. If you know George Poulos, he's like a YouTube skateboarder as well. He swears by this shoe. That's why I initially tried them and I liked them, but then I rolled my ankle like a couple months into them and just swore off this shoe forever. I just gave them away at the skate park, left them for a kid or whatever. I mean, even with that experience, this shoe is A tier, right below the Dunk for me. People are gonna get mad at this list. I don't care. Moving into the Muska, the S Muska shoe. So Chad Muska, obviously, if you know skate culture, Chad Muska was a huge thing in the early 2000s. He was on Shorties. I never got a pair of these because they were like so expensive. One of the funny things about this shoe was they had a little stash pocket in the tongue for your car keys. Chad Muska was putting lots and lots of car keys in his tongue. I'm gonna put the Chad Muska S shoe. I'm sorry. Who am I apologizing to? This is my opinion. Top of the B tier. It's so chunky. Just with the way skateboarding is going, you don't need this giant massive foam on your foot to protect you going down a huge like staircase or whatever. I think that skateboarding is sort of moving in a lower impact kind of fashion. Shoe like that, I don't think will stand the test of time, as we've seen it hasn't. Marc Johnson, the Emerica shoe. This shoe was super cool. It has a big M on the sidewall. Cool shoe. I never got to have a pair. Marc Johnson, legendary skateboarder. This shoe really cool. This shoe really cool. This shoe really cool. It's a classic. Everybody who skated them at the time said they were very, very good. Like, if you look at this toe box right here, if you compare this, if you compare this mudguard right here to this mudguard right here on S, the Accel, another Soltech company, you'll notice they're very, very similar. This actually also has Fallen Patriot vibes. I guess a lot of skate shoes have that exact same style though. Let's put that bad boy right above the Kenny Anderson. Ipath Cats. So, I don't even know if I should share this. I'll probably edit it out. So Ipath also had the stash pocket for your car keys. I was like a very well-behaved kid, and I guess I'm still very well-behaved. I had a friend in high school who had this pair of shoes. What he told me, oh my gosh. So when you're a kid, you'll just sort of believe anything. And like, I didn't really have Google on my phone to just like verify everything that my friends were telling me. But Ipath is the brand. And because of that stash pocket where people would hide illegal substances, he told me that Ipath stood for International Potheads Attempting to Hide Ipath. And I believed him up until pretty much... I believed him until downloading the picture for this tier list. So Ipath, I think it's just like follow your path. That's what it actually means. That's why I like included it on this list, because I thought it was just a meme shoe. But I actually saw someone at the skate park skating these recently. Someone like found them on Facebook Marketplace locally and bought a pair and was skating them. It's such a stupid shoe. It's so dumb. But it's kind of sweet too. It looks like one of those Clark's Wallabies. Wouldn't it be great if this topped out the list? I'm going to put this one down in the D tier, right above the DC Court Graffik. So we've got the New Balance Tiago 1010 in the original colorway. So the 1010 is my current skate shoe, and I love this shoe so much. I love the outsole. I love how wide it is. I love the toe box. I love the flick. I don't love the lacing system, but I've done a couple of reviews on this shoe, so go check those out if you want after you finish this video. I'm going to try to stay impartial though. This one, it's definitely going to be A tier for me. This is going to upset so many old heads. Like, this is going to upset every Chad Muska fan, every Marc Johnson fan, every Kenny Anderson. Like, this whole B tier is very, like, that's a hot take, this whole B tier. The whole Chomp on Kicks community is not going to like this video. I'm sorry, that's just how I feel. The Tiago Lemos 1010, I'm going to put right above the Chima 2 and right below the Dunk. Moving on to the Skate Half Cab. This shoe, perfect, historic, right above the Blazer. If you've not skated a pair of half cabs, go skate a pair of half cabs, because chances are you will really enjoy them. I've sort of sworn off Vans, unfortunately, but that's just, I gotta work through some stuff. Oh man, so this is the Andrew Reynolds 3. I'm hoping I'm getting that right, but this shoe was so cool. I had this pair in high school, this exact colorway, and I ordered them from a CCS catalog. I bought these on clearance, and CCS sent me 2 pairs on accident, and I emailed them. I'm like, hey, you sent me 2 pairs, and they were just like, keep it. act like it didn't happen. I loved this shoe. The only thing is it was not durable. It was kind of trash. The sole of the shoe came off of the foxing tape almost immediately. It wasn't very durable. The quality of the materials was really, really bad. The laces were good, but the number one quality of this shoe feature is the bling. It came with this like little diamond looking cubic zirconium stud that you could put in the eyelet of the shoe. It was so sick. I'm gonna put this shoe, because of its terrible performance, under the Mikey Taylor, but the bling kind of might put it in S tier, but I'll have to pray on it. Moving on to the Cariuma Catiba. So this shoe is pending a tier list placement, depending on if Cariuma sends me a pair or not. If they send me a pair, top of the S tier. If they don't, bottom of the D tier. I don't really care for them. I think they look bad, and it's not my style of shoe to skate. I think the whole Mike Vallely adoption onto the team was just kind of, I don't know, it's like bring an old pro with some legendary status to the team and try to make it a little bit more core or to appeal to an older audience. Kind of just not that cool. Like, it's all influencers on the team and then legend Mike Vallely. It's just like, I don't know. It seems kind of disingenuous. But Mike V has always been taking a paycheck. But Mike V was also one of my favorite skateboarders for a long time, so no disrespect towards him at all. Cariuma Catiba. I'm going to put this one right below the cat, right above the DC Court Graffik. No one's going to knock down the DC Court Graffik from taking the last spot. I don't think it's bad. I don't think they're a bad company. I think they're just like any other company. I just think they're not cool. So now we've got the Vans Skate High. Again, this one unfortunately has to beat out the Blazer, but it's below the half cab. It's just a legendary shoe. Works really well. Looks perfect. It's one of the best looking shoes on this list. Perfect shoe. Can't complain about it one bit. Really have nothing to add to the conversation on that shoe. There are a million reviews on that shoe. It's one of the best. Oh gosh, I can't put the Janoski in front of this shoe. No, both of these Vans have to go above that. Oh, yeah, both of these Vans have to go above that. The Globe Chet Thomas 4. Someone I met recently was wearing a pair of these, and it was really cool to see them out in the wild. Actually, one of the best selling skate shoes in the world. Chet Thomas did an interview with the 9 Club. He talked about how well this shoe sold like overseas, like in Japan or something like that. Made him a ton of money, so good for him. It's really only on this list because of its cultural significance. I don't have any experience with it, so I'm not even gonna put it on the list. Yeah, I will. Bottom of the C tier. Now we've got the Vans Rowley XLT. This shoe, I think, is one of the best looking Vans that's ever come out. I know it's very dated, but I just think like that thin wave, the thin V wave, whatever you want to call it, it just looks so good. It looks like an Adidas soccer shoe or something like that. I think this shoe is perfect. I just thought they were the coolest shoe in the world. And just Jeff Rowley wearing these was so cool. These are going right above the Chima Ferguson 2s just because they're so cool to me. Tyshawn Jones Adidas. So this shoe, this is the only shoe that might make me stop skating my New Balance 1010s. This shoe is really intriguing to me. I've tried it on and it's probably one of the most comfortable shoes I've worn outside of like an Ultra Boost. It looks so good. It looks like it's going to perform really well. All the reviews I've seen of the shoe are, like they say, it's like a 10 out of 10 shoe. I think it looks so good. Tyshawn's like one of the best skateboarders that's ever lived, undoubtedly, and he's so young. This shoe also has a low top version. I think the mid top looks cooler. This shoe is S tier. Oh gosh, it can't be above the Dunk. This shoe is A tier, right below the Dunk. Yeah. That's one of the best pro shoes that's come out in a long time. It just looks so good, and it fits his style really well. He's done like an FA collab, which looks really, really cool. Then we close out the list with the Vans Classic Slip-On. This shoe is super good. It's arguably the best looking shoe on this list. It's a classic. Its cultural significance is probably way more than any of the shoes on this list. This shoe is A tier. This shoe is A tier. This shoe is A tier. Number 1, baby. Vans Slip-On. Forever. Let me know in the comments if you think that I left something out or if I should redo this list. Thanks for watching. I'm the Skateboard Dad. go find time to do what you love in life, because it's fun and it'll bring you joy, and that's a nice thing to have in your life.